scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it.
You are now tapped into the coolest reptile podcast in the world. I'm your boy MJ. Welcome back to another episode of Trap Talk with MJ. Oh shit, that's a big one, thick one. If this is your first time tapping in, what is good? I'm your boy MJ right here in the flesh. Please do your boy a favor, hit the subscribe button, like button, and the dislike button. I'm cool with all those type of things. Drop a comment. Let me know how you're liking the guests. Let the guests know how you're liking, what they are bringing to the table. It all matters. But yeah, man, what's up? What's good? All my returning trappers, all the early birds in the building. Hope you guys are ready for a nice, crisp, fresh Saturday podcast. About to drop some heat with my man Paul for that round 2. I hope you have some UK motherfuckers in the building. But before we get to the early birds and shout them out, you guys know what the deal is. Oh my God, I want to cough so bad. But for the real deal, professionally packed rodents delivered to your doorstep. Cold-Blooded Cafe is your jam. www.coldbloodedcafe.com. $30 flat rate shipping to your doorstep. Professionally packed. Shout out to Steven, Desiree, the entire Cold-Blooded Cafe team. Shout out to John. Shout out to Alex over at Sim Container, doing big things with the Sim box. Not only that, crazy game with the monitors. You got to go check them out. They have really set me up for success with my Bell Phase monitors that are growing like weeds. And even help me with my green tree monitors, even with my beaded lizards. They're amazing. Thank you, John. Thank you, Alex, for supporting the trap. Flex in Texas all day, every day. We have Focus Cube Habitats. The future of enclosures have arrived. They've been here. They're killing it. Coming out with multiple custom designs that no one else is doing. Go check them out. I have something also in the works with them being built, and it's just never going to stop. I'm always going to be Focus Cube Habitats to the day I die. Leave it. Thank you, Steven. Thank you, Ashley, so much for the support. And guys, go check them out on Instagram. They got big things going on. Been having big things going on is definitely Freedom Breeder stainless steel racks. Global. Motherfuckers got them in the UK. They got them in Canada. Freedom Breeders everywhere, and they're built here in the United States. Professionally built racks that last, always hold their value. Anyone who has a Freedom Breeder rack knows exactly what the hell I'm coming from when I say Freedom Breeder is the real deal Holyfield when it comes to breeding rats or reptiles or whatever the fuck you could breed inside of a tub. You name it. Freedom Breeder's where it's at. Always evolving pythons definitely is where it's at. You guys want to get knitted if you want to try to come up with some sick-ass YouTube ideas and whatnot and integrate that with your animals and figure out how you can market and fucking collab with people. Well, dude, this is the guy you want to follow. I'm telling you right now. He is constantly making moves. You never know what this guy's going to pull out of his sleeve. And, he's already making global moves down in Mexico and whatnot. So all I got to say is go follow Always Evolving Pythons on Instagram. Check him out on YouTube. He has a lot of heat. I think he has over about 80 clutches already this year. I think he's going to clear over 100. But shout out to my big dog who's been in the game not that long compared to a lot of other people who've been in this game. And he's fucking covered a lot of ground. Let's just say that. Shout out to you, Miguel. Thank you so much for supporting me. You're the shiznit. And then if you guys ever want to reach out to me or if you ever want to see what I have available, I mean, dude, I ain't got no urban constrictor type heat, but I am working on some shit. So if you ever want to go see what I got going on, what's available, go to my Instagram, mjexoticscartal with an A, not an E. And then just on top of what I have going on for the podcast, go follow the Trap Talk with MJ podcast on Instagram. Shout out to my Twitch viewers. If you're looking to support this channel, support me, you want to keep driving what I'm doing, you can send any donation you like to PayPal, mjexoticscartal 619. And last but not least, I want to say a big shout out to all my Patreon members, my family, staying with me, going strong. If you out there are new into this, or you've been in this game and you just want to be a part of something sick and you want to learn from others and just be a part of that VIP Trap Talk type, business, go down to the link below, join the Trap Talk Patreon family. We get together every Sunday, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time film sessions. Can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. And I do appreciate the ongoing support. You have no idea what that means to me. And if you're a trapper, I would love for you to join the Patreon family because we could use some more trappers, and that's a fact. All right, guys, what is good with the early birds? Okay, wait, hold on. Before I get into the early birds, I will say last episode, oh my God, probably one of the most player episodes I've ever done, especially in person. I got to go to Marshall Mendez's place. I got to check out his collection. The guy is fucking the real deal. Let's just say that, okay? What he has going on, the diversity with, the ball pythons, the emeralds, the chondros, you name it. He has a fucking colubid rack that we didn't even really show. It's kind of like, under wraps. He has a lot of amazing shit going on. But anyways, go check out that episode. The link's in the description below. And that episode was brought to you by Tim Park of 213 Emerald, good buddy of mine who sponsored that specific episode. And it wouldn't have been done if it wasn't for Tim. So thank you so much, Tim, for sponsoring the episode. I'll go follow Tim, who's working with an amazing group of basins. I'm saying strictly basins, man. This guy does have ambitions of working with chondros at some point, but this guy's game is just about that fucking basin. He has some 50-50 crosses. Dude, just go check out what he has going on. He's definitely going to be a guest I bring on at some point. Right now, he's super low-key, want to be a part of it, but it's my boy still. Thank you, Tim, so much. I appreciate you. All right, what is good? Do I have any UK motherfuckers in the building? I hope so, because I love UK. But what is good with all the early birds? We have General in the building. What is good, Martin Morphs? I hope the trap babies are doing good for you. I mean, I see you post them all the time, and they're smashing. So, Deviant Glass, what is good? Thanks for being here, player. Adrian Blue, what is up, man? You ready for your snakes? They're ready for you. Shipping them out next week, my man. But yeah, shout out to homie Adrian Blue, good homie right there. Howlin' Dragons, what is good? Howlin' Dragons, thanks for tapping in. Matt Summers made it from the Slipknot concert. Dude, I'm sorry I didn't tag along with you, but I know what happens after Slipknot concerts. I literally fucking destroyed my ACL and had surgery after what you just experienced. But I hope you're good. I'm glad you're tapping in with us this morning. Follow my man Matt Summers, trap management right there all day, every day. And then let's see, we have MMB Reptiles. So we have UK in the building. What is good, MMB Reptiles? Thank you for being here. Let's see, Pez Pythons. What's up, Pez Pythons? We have the Mushroom Cowboy, Harry out of Canada. What's up, Cascade Critters? Thanks for being here, buddy. Pacific Rim Serpents. And all these people are Patreon members, by the way. So thank you so much. I love you guys to death. What up, Illa Delph? What is cracking, Illa Delph? Evolution Exotics, another Patreon OG right here. Big time savage. What up, Shane Henderson? Shane Henderson in the building. And then let's see. We're going to end it on my man, D's Nuts. What's up, D Balls and Exotics? Listen, this man right here is also really sick at what he does. Go give him a follow on Instagram. He's one of the few people who I look up to when I see people keeping Burmese and shit like that. This guy literally spends a lot of time with his big snakes. So I respect to D. Go check him out on Instagram, and he has big things going on all around the board. Shout out to D. All right. Before we get started, too, guys, I do want to say, other than YouTube, there are other ways of listening to Trap Talk with MJ. And I got to say, I've been hitting record-breaking numbers on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Buzzsprout. I want to say thank you to everyone who listens to me on those platforms, because compared to YouTube, I got a lot more listeners on that. And I got to say, if you out there are listening to me on Apple, Spotify, or any of the podcasting audio platforms, please rate me, give me a review, let me know how you're liking the podcast, because I mean, I also look at that stuff as well, and it really means a lot to me. So I just got to say, everyone who fucks with me on the other platforms, thank you so much. Really means a lot. And I got to say, it does get me excited to keep going. And that's what we're doing right now with my man, round 2, Paul in the building. Paul's been killing it this year. Okay. And like, it gets me goosebumps because I mean, I want that shit that he's producing. And it's in the UK. I want to figure out how we can even figure that out sometime, but maybe off camera. But he's tapping in now. I hope the audio is good. I hope he hears me. Paul from Urban Constrictors. What is good, Claire? Do I sound okay?
Yeah, you sound perfect. Do I?
You sound good. We're good.
Yeah, I had to put the earphones in. Every time I got the sound to work, the mic went. So earphones in, as long as you can hear me, we're all good.
Paul tapping in. How have you been, Paul? I feel like I haven't, well, shit, it's been a few months. I mean, when did we do our podcast? Earlier this year, right? That's
to be honest,
it's been about a year.
I don't know. One thing I can't remember are dates. Yeah, time flies. It seems like a long time ago.
Tell me how are you coming off your 2021 season? How's it been for you?
It's been fantastic, to be quite honest with you, and I'm still deep in it. I've just had another ovulation, so some more amazing clown stuff coming out of Urban. I've just had some Cypress clown stuff hatching, and I've got people, just dying to get hold of the Cypress clown stuff. So yeah, it's fantastic. It's still going strong. 2022 looks crazy, just pushing it forward. I'm so grateful for.
I bet, dude, how's it feel to because you got to understand, I've had plenty of UK people on here who, your guys' market's building, it's getting bigger, you know what I mean? But you have shit that's died for here in America, you know what I mean? You're making some noise with what you got going on. So I can only imagine the demand for what you're making over in your area. I mean, how are you keeping up with that, or how do you delegate that?
Well, to be quite honest with you, me and a friend of mine, Andy Fagan from Road Constrictors, was talking earlier, and I said to him, "How much money's worth of snakes do you think you've seen me advertise?" And he said, "Maybe about 20 grand." And then I reflected on obviously what I've sold, because this is an official business, so I'm in it to make money, but not only make money, make amazing snakes for my own collection, because it is a diehard passion of mine. And it just put into perspective the amount I've sold. So when you say the market's up and coming, it's so strong. It's just unbelievable. And I know we talked about the COVID market being so strong. It's definitely not backed off. It's phenomenal. And I get inquiries. I'm not going to say every day or anything, but I get inquiries quite frequently from the US and different places to ask if I can ship. But I don't do it currently. I have done it, but I don't do it currently simply because I can't guarantee safe arrival, and that's obviously something I would need to be able to guarantee in order to do that. So for now, I'm just selling inside the UK, and to be quite honest with you, I just can't keep the higher end stuff in stock. It sells before I even get an opportunity to tell people it's going for sale. So I feel very blessed. I really do, MJ. I feel so blessed to be in this position.
Well, I mean, this is the kind of problem you asked to be in. So I mean, it's not that bad. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously you want to, the thing is you want to help everyone. Like you want to be able to supply everyone, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Yeah.
Okay.
I hope you can hear me.
But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, do you have people who follow up on your projects and are kind of waiting right there? Like when you hatch shit out, I mean, do you have a wait list? How are you determining who kind of gets what, when, and when?
I don't do waiting lists because, and I'll really briefly tell you why. A waiting list, in my opinion, is a recipe for a disaster. And what I mean by that is, say for instance, you, MJ, says, right, I want the Cypress clown. A couple of months later, I hit it. I'm not keeping it. So I message you, yo, MJ, got a Cypress clown. Do you want it? You don't get back to me for a few days. I've messaged number 2. I've messaged number 3 in the waiting list. And number 3 said, yep, I'll take it. Here's the money, job done.
Ready to go.
And then MJ messages me back saying, yo, dog, sorry. I've been on holiday, taking Lily out, blah, blah, blah. I'll take it. And I'm like, damn, I've sold it. And then MJ no longer loves me. It's like, people don't get
it. That's business. It is what it is.
It is business, but people don't get it. So I don't do waiting lists. I am so lucky that the vast majority of my snakes sell before I can even advertise them. And the way I do it is people just see me post a picture up of, say, like a Super Orange Dream combo clown, and they message me saying, have you got any Orange Dream clowns? Yes, I do. This is the price. Bang, they're sold. It's honestly, mate, it's unbelievable.
Dang. So now let me ask you, with the high-end stuff obviously being the stuff more sought after, how are you delegating like your het males and like the ones that are basically, the ones that aren't going to stay per se, you know what I mean? I mean, are you, because a lot of people wholesale those, they basically give them away. What do you usually do with those? Do you just price those the way you price them and just put them up, or how do you do with those?
Well, sorry, what do I do with the lower end stuff? Did you say?
Yeah, like all this stuff that's not visuals, like if you have het males and whatnot, you know what I mean? Just stuff that you have no use for it, right?
Yeah, so anything sort of under £300 just goes to. I own a reptile and aquatic shop, so I supply my reptile and aquatic shop. Yeah, with all the cheaper stuff, what sells fantastically well, and some of the nicer stuff, like pied het lavenders and dreamsicles and stuff like that. But yeah, the lower end stuff goes to my reptile shop. The higher end stuff, and when I say higher end, I mean anything from super high end to about £300 or £400. I'm getting to the point where soon anything under say £400, what's about $500 isn't worth me selling through Urban Constrictors, because I want to spend time with my customers. I don't just want to sell them a snake and never speak to them again. So I have to analyze how much my time is worth. And I know your friend Socrates said, if I give you my time, I'm giving you something very, very, precious. And I so related to what he was saying. I can give you nothing more important than my own time.
Well, I mean, it's like, for instance, you could always sell a holdback because you could either make that back or, make that money back somehow. But when you give up time, you can't get that time back. Time is gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's no getting time back. That's why time's the most valuable thing, and I think about that. I kind of like beat myself up a little bit because, I already get about on an average like 5-6 hours of sleep. Like that's just the way I work, But now and then, midday or something, I like to just fucking relax. Like I'm kind of like a midday chiller, you know what I mean? Because I wake up so early. But even then, I don't like, something in me telling me you need to get moving. Like there's no way you could just be sitting here, laying here longer than 30, 45 minutes because damn well there's something else you could be doing. And there's a list of things. Like that's why I love what I do, is I can always keep myself busy. Like there's always an agenda when keeping this many animals. And I just prioritize everything. You know what I mean? So even when I clear the top priority list, there's still a chunk of shit at the bottom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's always so much to do.
But that kind of shit excites me. And it's not like working at fucking warehouse or I'm working fucking, some shit job. Like this is, like I always try to love what I do. Like, that saying, love what you do, and I loved sales. Like sales was fun because I wrote my own paycheck, right? But when I had to take care of people, like when I say take care of people, like manage them, make a schedule for them, make sure they come to work, make sure they fucking want to come make money. That's when I kind of crashed. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, like at the end of the day, like my passion is like genuine to where I could share that passion with you. But if you give me nothing in return, I kind of give up. I'm just like, well, I'm not gonna share this raw energy that anyone could feed off of and just fucking just, and my thing was, back in the day when I did sell, there were people who liked me because how much sell I was doing. Like there was no cap. Like I was Mr. Number One sales, making a lot of money. And there was some that hated me, don't get me wrong, but the few that wanted to make what I wanted to make were the ones I vested in. Those are the ones I really fucking kind of latched onto. And it's kind of like this with the ball pythons and stuff. You have people that kind of get with what you're doing, and even with what they're doing motivates you, and it kind of goes back and forth. Can you relate to that at all?
Yeah, completely. And I know me and you talked about me doing Patreon and mentoring people. And since then, I had a lot of, after the podcast, I had a lot of people reach out and say, would you consider mentoring me? And I was going to do Patreon. I set up an account and everything, and I just can't find the time to do it. But more recently, I've had, some good customers come forward. So what I did is I said, right, anyone who spends 10,000 or more with me in one season gets my mentorship free of charge. And, I'm not going to name names because then it shows how much they've spent, but certain people have got my mentorship, and watching them develop makes me so proud because, I'm so grateful for what I do. I love my job so much, and I make a lot of money. So when I see, these young bucks, and some of them are older than me, but these newcomers to the industry getting in, and I'm not saying they're getting in for capital gain and stuff like that, but they're getting in it because they want a better lifestyle. They want to do this full time. They want to breed amazing snakes. And, do stuff like what we're doing right now. And when I see it happening, it's like, yeah, I helped them, and they've helped me. They've helped me do what I love. So they've invested in me, and in return, I'm investing right back into them. And watching them coming up through ranks and getting noticed, it makes me. It's like a proud father, It's like that. But some of them are older than me, I absolutely love it. I love it. I'm so blessed to be able to do this full time. And that's why I have no problems talking about money, talking about making money, because people say like, "Oh, you shouldn't talk about that." But fuck that, of course you can talk about it. I'm not here to break even. I'm not here to run myself into ground. I'm here to make a happy life for me and my family, and to do what I absolutely love.
Consistently.
That's why. Yeah, and consistency is the key, and that's why people come here and they beg me for a certain snake and offer me so much more money, but I said no, because that was the goal of that clutch, and that's my holdback to secure me doing this long term. So it's like that snake he used on the picture. I've been offered 12 grand for her, and I won't sell her. Actually, no, that's a lie. I was offered 10 grand. Yeah. She's just ridiculous.
Just it's a fire clown. What?
Fire.
What is
it's a super. Yeah, it's a super orange dream, fire, yellow belly, leopard, clown, 66% post het pied. Yeah. And the crazy thing is, MJ. Yeah, and the crazy thing is, I can hatch that exact combo in a couple of weeks, but clown pied, because they're incubating. So if you see me putting a picture up, I'll try and mimic it, even the way the snake lays, exactly the same, but with visual pied in there as well. It's amazing. But no, someone offered me 10 grand for that snake. And then when we was at a show, the show is tomorrow, ironically, someone said, what number would you actually think about? And I said, do you know what? I said, if someone offered me 12 grand, I'd think about it. And then driving home from the show, I thought, I wouldn't sell it. I just wouldn't, because I'm not penniless, so I don't need to sell it. And, that snake is a female, so it'll spend probably 10 years in my collection. And that's why I take care of my snakes in such a high way, because they take care of me.
I mean, not only that, the true value to where, it's really ridiculous what kind of number you should technically price this snake for it to be worth you releasing and not working into. Everything you work into, everything you do is for the next level up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just by giving that snake away, we'll literally keep what it is for that snake down, probably a couple years or whatnot. But either way, probably not, because you're making more, but still. That being said, so if you plan on making more of these type of snakes, right? How do you feel is that going to do with the market year after year? Like, do you feel like, are you going to produce enough where the price will be able to go down essentially more, or how's that going to work?
Well, the price is always going to fall. I've seen a slight incline in chocolate clown prices and stuff like that this year. I actually sold chocolate clowns this year considerably more than last year. I'll be totally honest, they went up in value, and I sold out of them. And I produced quite a few chocolate clowns, even chocolate het clowns, so as the seasons go on, more and more amazing snakes like that will be produced across the whole world. So naturally the prices will fall. But I'm not repeating the pairing to make that exact snake, because if I repeat the pairing and make it and have no plans to keep it, all I'm doing is arming someone with that power. Selling high-end snakes is fantastic, but you've also got to consider that everybody is, in one way or another, your competitor. I don't look at it like that. And trust me, I sell a lot of high-end snakes, and I'm happy to see, what people do with them. But I would never just repeat pairings for just money, for instance, because you're arming someone, with that amazing snake. So, you've got to take that into consideration. I'm not Justin Kabelka, so I'm not in a league of my own where I don't have to consider anybody else. But that's not to say I don't sell some amazing stuff. But yeah, prices will naturally fall. They have to do. And when a snake like that is, £500 or $600, it'll be fantastic, because more and more people get to enjoy it. Every time I'm cleaning my snakes out and I open a drawer with a snake like that, it makes me happy. It makes me very happy.
Fuck yeah.
I love it.
So So for instance, your motto is you don't do repeat pairings. You keep shit different going each year is what you're saying.
I do, but I don't. I do repeat pairings if I miss the goal. So
If you
that
miss,
pairing, yeah, that pairing was to hit some Super Orange Dream Clown combos, and I hit 2, and I held them both back. I actually ended up almost keeping the whole clutch, but one was no, 2 was het clown, so not a visual clown. So obviously they sold. One was a paradox clown from the neck down. It was all clown. It was a Super Orange Dream. No, it was an Orange Dream, yellow belly, leopard, clown body, but a het head. It was unbelievable. And Justin Kabelka, I put a little video up saying, "Oh, look at this het clown. It's incredible." And Justin said, "That's a paradox clown." And then he wrote in a separate comment, "Wow, paradox clown." I looked at it and I thought, "Oh my God, it is. If you cover its head up, it's a clown. It's almost the same as that one you showed on screen. But if you look at its head, it's a het clown."
Did you post that, Snake? Did you post this? Snake?
Yeah, I did.
Where's it?
I
What's
did,
it at?
but
Like, where do you recall on your page where it's at?
A long time ago, because
It's been a while.
It was my first clutch of this year. That was clutch number 1 of 2021. So it was a while. But yeah, weirdly, it was on my second from last YouTube video. So if anybody is actually interested to see some of them, just go to my second from last YouTube video. But anyway, yeah, and a good friend of mine, Andy Fagan, again from Road Constrictors, he actually ended up buying that snake. It was a female. The only reason I sold it is because it went to Andy, because he's somebody who's invested a lot in me and being a fantastic customer, and I'm investing back into him, and he's doing some amazing things. So he got her. Then the rest of the clutch I kept. But then at the Donny show, a guy called Chris, I won't name his surname just in case he don't want to be known, basically offered me a large amount of money for a particular snake. And I said, I can't do it. I just can't do it. It's a male. It's going to be amazing. And then they actually stood there and thought, I've got that snake over and over again. I don't need it. So I said, look, because I can't sell it at the show because I have a license. I won't get into that. But anyway, I can't sell it at the show. So after the show, we met. He balance transferred me some money and he got that snake. But that and after it, driving home, I regretted selling it. But like Andy said to me, he said, Paul, you don't need that snake. And, the money's good. So it is what it is. But, it was a tough sell because I sometimes keep snakes just because I wanted to hit them so desperately. And it took me so long that they might not be worth a ton of money, but it took me so long to hit them. I'm just keeping them because that's a payment within itself.
Let's check this video out real quick. So you said it's the second one?
Yeah, it's the one where the grass is in the background. So go up.
This one here, right here, right?
The second, yeah. So that's
right.
And
is that the snake with the orange? It's the actual this one right here? I'm assuming.
Hang on. I can't believe you're playing my video. It's cringe. That's it. That's the snake. Stop. Whoa. Pause. Stop. Whoa. Up. That's the snake. That is the snake. Well done. So when you look at it from the neck down, look at my bullies. From the neck down, it's all clown. But I know it's not the best of pictures because it's a little bit hard to see. But the head was a het clown head, but the rest of it is clown. And Justin said it's a paradox clown. So we don't know.
Badass, bro.
Yeah, it's incredible, but we don't know if it's genetically a het clown or genetically a clown. So Andy's going to put a visual clown to it, as I explained in the video. And if they all are clowns, then the next season he'll put another visual clown to it. And if then they're all clowns, then he can mark it up as a clown. But if he puts a visual clown to it and hatches one het, bearing in mind she will be a virgin, so it will be her very first clutch. If he produces one het, then he can mark her up as a het clown. So we've got a little thing going that, he's not paid for a visual clown, but he ain't paid for a het.
Damn. So and this was hatched earlier this year, right?
Yeah, that was clutch number 1 of 2021.
Damn.
That was in sort of I think about May time.
That is flame, bro. So, how many clutches did you end up producing this year? Or were you still have stuff going? You just had an automation. So where are we at?
Yeah, about 60. About 58. About 58, but I've got at least 4 or 5 more to go. So it'd be like 62, 63, maybe 64.
Is that an average for you? Do you normally produce more, or like how's that number?
No, that's the most I've ever produced. I try and keep it around 50. Next season, I'll hatch less because I'm going to breed less, but I'm just breeding more higher end. I've really tried to remodel my collection just to be very genetically powerful, because I plan on staying a one-man band. I don't plan on having staff, because I actually enjoy cleaning the snakes. I enjoy looking after them. I enjoy seeing them and watching them develop. So I don't want to get staff. So I'm happy around the sort of like 40 to 50 clutches, but I'm just going to make sure every single one of them is very, very powerful. Can you? Nice. Sorry, MJ. Can you hear that fan?
A little bit, but it doesn't bother me. I mean, I can switch
it off if you want me to. It pumps warm air out into it.
I don't want you to sweat or anything. I feel bad for people who sweat in their snake room. You probably need it, so just leave it. It's okay.
Right. If it's irritating, let me know. I can switch it off. I'm used to sweating in here every day, dripping with sweat in here.
Yeah, you're totally fine. So back on the ball pythons real quick. So what's your game plan for 2022? I mean, are you looking to surpass the 60 mark, or do you want to stay in the 50s? What's your game plan as far as growth?
No, about 40 to 50 clutches. 20, cool. Probably about 40 actually. Just because I've released some adult females, I've actually sold them. A couple of projects I was mixing together. A couple of genes I was mixing together wasn't reacting in the way I expected it to, because I actually hatch not lots of world's first, but excuse me. I've hatched a few, and like the chocolate calico clown, I hatched. I think it's the world's first. It might not be, but I think it is. It didn't react exactly how I thought, but add another gene and it will. But certain things have kind of not acting the way I thought, and I just thought, you know what? Rather than just kind of repeat, I'm just going to let them females go, and then with the money, say 5 females fetch, I'm going to buy 1 snake. So I'm going to reduce my numbers, but up my genetic power.
Hell yeah. Now, let me ask you this, Paul. You could be real. I'm like, dude, just hit me with the truth. Like, I don't need you to be like, oh, I don't want to offend anybody, because this is just like you speaking facts. You have multiple hustles. God bless you. You're smart about what you do. You have the shop with aquatics and whatnot. And then you have the snakes that you breed. But realistically, if you didn't have that shop, if you just had your 50-ish clutches, could you live off that just with your projects, with what you have going on?
Yeah, you can live off it. Not only can you live off it, if I had a $50,000 or £50,000 wage coming in from a job, I could leave that job easily. I'm so open normally, MJ, that I would just say the truth and say the numbers, but for some reason, people in the UK
they're either inspired, but more likely going to be envious off of it. They're going to be envious off of it, and they'll actually probably hold it to you when it comes to you pricing things. So don't even. That number is for you to enjoy and for you to relax on. Unless it's somebody a part of your 10K and up fucking family, then you could share that information. You know what I mean? But
I do. With them, I do share it. I was talking to, I won't name names, but I was talking to a guy. I swear to you. I give you my honest word. I was talking to a customer stroke friend today, and I actually told him exactly the figures, and I told him what I've got left to sell and everything else. I'll tell you, it's far past 100,000 a year, but like people at Aussie and Justin Kabelka would think, that's not a lot of money. That's not a lot of money. There's levels to the game, but it's life-changing money, because if I can do these figures year in, year out, I will live a very, very happy, comfortable lifestyle,
But, at the end of the day, all the guys I look at and respect in this game who could easily just make money off breeding ball pythons, but don't. They have multiple different things going on. Those are the motherfuckers who are they're capitalizing. That's what you need to do. Like Marshall Mendez, man. I asked Marshall, I was like, dude, have you like with what he has going on, like he's so advanced in the ultra male game, it's ridiculous. with like all the double recessive shit he has in ultra already. But anyways, and the chondros, there's a list of things that this guy could easily have already done for full time and not need to work, but he just loves the fact that his 9 to 5 is so guaranteed 100% all the time, to where it's just worth him having and still having the snakes. And if you could, I mean, I feel like that's the smartest way you could go. You know what I mean? Like for sure, 100%, because you never really know with just snakes, like working with just ball pythons, like market changes all the time on things. It could go drastically up, drastically down. For the last few years, it's been pretty steady and it's growing. Like that's one thing I'm really happy about doing these podcasts, is just because I see the growth behind everything that's happening, and I'm like, I'm not going to stop anytime soon. Like this is a huge wave that's fucking getting bigger and bigger. But with that being said, like let's just say your inventory coming to America, how easy is that to happen? What's the process of people getting some urban constrictor heat here in the States?
Well, I have sold quite a few snakes now into the States, and typically we just go through a DDI. So I send it from the UK to the ham show in Germany, and then it gets collected or you go to DDI table, you hand it over, do the paperwork, then it gets flown over to America. And from that point on, DDI have, avenues to get it to customers' houses. But yeah, I've sold a few in America. I honestly don't think anybody from America needs to buy from me, because your market and your options in what you can buy is far greater than the UK. We've got a couple of things that you guys haven't got, but for the most part, you guys, you're sitting pretty. You don't have to buy from me. But at the moment, I'm UK only, and I've got people, because I'm sure we'll talk about it later, but I'm breeding my chondros. Like that's a passion. Nothing will be for sale. If I hatched 100, I obviously wouldn't, but if I hatched 100 chondros, they're not getting sold. Not for at least a long time until they change. But
right.
So that's just a real passion project for me. It's not like I do this just to make money. I do it because I want to do it, because I absolutely love it. I love breeding snakes, and there's nothing.
And you got other shit you want to fuel, like bro. Other passions.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, passions are what you make it. But for our kind of passion, it costs money. You know what I mean? And
exactly.
Yeah, and with all due respect, we haven't dabbled into it, but you're dabbling into a species that could potentially cost you a lot of fucking money. Yeah. Like the type of risk that you don't ever really encounter with ball pythons, only because ball pythons are tanks. They could breed really good.
Yeah.
Once we start talking about the chondros here, the chondros are something to where like what you did. Like I love the way you were like, you came up with those IKEA fucking enclosures, which nobody's done, but you made that work for you. I feel like a lot of people, if they weren't really in on their dialing in, it wouldn't have been so easy for anyone to toss a neonate with substrate and shit. But you have everything down, which is great. You know what I mean? But there's a crossover to that, and that's when you have a beautiful chondro that's an adult, and everything's been chippy okay until you fucking pair the motherfuckers. Okay. And
then it goes downhill.
It can, and it will at some point, but it's just a matter of luck. I've had people tell me all the time, breeding's all about luck. And I thought, I don't know about that, but really it is. Like it really it comes down to luck with the chondros 100%. You have no idea how many people. I mean, I'm putting out a vlog that drops at 11:15 my time, West Coast time. And in that vlog, it's a collection tour of Marshall Mendez. So be ready. It's going to be sick. But
I'm so looking forward to that.
Dude, so in that tour, he talks about having a healthy animal, been breeding, doing fine, and then just all of a sudden drops dead. You know what I mean? So it's like you don't expect it, and you never expect it, but you best expect it with working with chondros, which fuck it, we're already 40 minutes deep. Let's get into it now. I mean, your most recent posts have been all about chondros, other than trap talk. But dude, what's going on? Tell us a little bit what's been fueling the fire behind your chondro passion. Tell me a little bit what's been happening over on your end.
Basically, I got my first snake when I was 11 years old. My second snake was when I was in, what would I have been, late 20s, and my second snake were chondros. So a lady once said to me, "Oh, you started from the bottom and worked down." So yeah, I got into chondros in around 2010 before I bought a single ball python. And I successfully bred them and stuff, and never lost one, never had RIs, never had any issues. I caught mites from, less desirable people, but I didn't kill them. I didn't, but I didn't hatch them. And that is something that sat with me for a long time. And my goal was always to successfully breed chondros and bring out basically a line that people would want, like the mosaic line that Pedro has, or the blue line and stuff. I know Forrest has some incredible green tree pythons, and his goals, bless him, was to bring out the fanning line and stuff like that. And when I was watching that video, because Brian Barczyk was doing the video and kind of doing a little interview and talking to him, and I was just relating to it so much. And that's, the goal with chondros is to develop a room that's predominantly my own productions and something that looks like a living art gallery. No money's considered. It's not a case of I'm gonna breed them to sell, etc. I'm gonna breed them because I want to create a living art gallery. That's a real goal and passion of mine, and that's what a lot of my focus is on. And they've just unlocked and separated, actually, because they're right above my head. I was hoping they'd still be going strong. Yeah, they're just separated.
So you got let's kind of make sense for the people who are really more heavy on the ball pythons and not with the chondros, because chondros, they're not mutations, like they're not morphs. A lot of them are localities bred into each other and then back into each other. So what's your main focus or motivation behind a chondro pairing? Like, are you more visual? Do you care about the localities? Like, how are you approaching your chondro projects?
I'm 100% on their phenotype and not their genotype. So for anyone who may not know what that means, it's all about the visual. If I could create heavily melanistic snakes like the Cygnus or El Diablo, the Cygnus from Bill Stiegel, the El Diablo from Greg Maxwell, snakes like that's the goal, that's the dream. But I also want to develop a blue line. And don't get me wrong, like if you say to me, Paul, do you think you'll hit this level in ball pythons? If I say yeah, I'm going to hit it. I don't care what anybody says, I'm going to hit it. But with chondros, I'm not making no guarantees. They like your post made me laugh. You wrote something like, "Be prepared for all your emotions to be ruined or smashed or something." And I thought,
kiss them away.
Yeah, kiss them goodbye. Yeah,
kiss.
And I'm so prepared. Like, you just smash your bong. People are like, oh, once you've hatched them, you get the babies, the neos, and their runners and their nightmares, and two of them die, and ball pythons just don't. You'll burn out. And it's like, you don't know who I am. You have no idea about my motivation. All my life, I've been told I'll never succeed. And all my life, I've suppressed everyone that's doubted me. And I continue to do it, and I will continue to do it. So one day, whether it's with a chondro that I've got now or new stock because I've killed all these, whatever, one day I will have my art room full of chondros. It will, it will happen.
And I will say this: if breeding chondros was anything like breeding ball pythons, there would be a lot less ball python breeders out there. I will tell you right now.
100%, 100%.
Because the time, it's literally becomes a mindset with chondros. 100% mindset. And then even the most patient motherfuckers break. Like, it's a patient beyond patient lesson. And what I mean is, the patient really comes in when you wait and you finally get a baby chondro, which that's so hard to get. It is like, bro, you have no idea.
It's
Like,
very difficult.
Getting to that point where a little fucking chondro comes out the egg, you're so close, but yet you're so far, and
far away.
That determines the personality of the chondro, right? But dude, I like I said, I have on my record produced chondros. I have 2, okay, and only with those 2. Which I was prepared. I had notes. I literally wanted to pull my fucking. I lost one, right? Which the one I shouldn't have lost. That was an accident.
I thought you sent one to your friend who got it feeding.
Yeah, he's still there. Yeah, he's still. Yeah, we'll get to that. So my original chondro that I produced, Chapo, right? He was 1 out of 14 eggs, right? So he was the only 1 out of 14 eggs that made it. He was small, but he was eating. Everything was going great until there was a malfunction in the room when I had my knee surgery, and he didn't make it. Overheated, right? Unfortunate.
Oh, wow.
Same situation. 1 for 14, different snake. Chapo 2.0 came out a lot more fucking bigger, robust, but won't strike worth a dick. Nothing. A runner wants to get away from everything, and dude.
And they're the worst.
You know, I had Socrates on the phone with me, like, you know, like telling me, "Are you doing this? Are you doing that?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm doing all this," and I was literally going by like 15-minute sessions to where like, fuck, maybe I need to do 45-minute sessions, but this is just one neonate, bro. Like, I only had to worry about one. You have Patrick Holmes in the house who deals with like 45 at a time at one point sometimes, like, and even Socrates. So it's literally a mindset. It's not beating yourself up, because if you do and you overthink shit, I mean, you're going to crash, and you're not going to want to go any further, because you're just going to produce chondros that are going to die on you. And that right there, and the reason why I say chondros is not like breeding ball pythons, because ball python breeders do not experience death as much as chondro breeders do.
No, the door. I've had maybe 2 snakes in 10 years, ball pythons. And I don't mean hatchlings, because I've probably lost a hatchling or 2, but honestly, well, I haven't lost a single hatchling this year, for instance. I don't really lose hatchlings, but what I mean is I've had probably 2 ball pythons out of thousands die on me. So yeah, but you have, say, if you had 100 chondros, and that's a lot, you're probably going to lose, maybe 50% of them, as in like babies, or when you're learning. Like, I can't believe Patrick Holmes is watching. Big shout out to Patrick. And Patrick is someone I reached out to. Like, Patrick, not only because of the life he's led and turned around and done so well for himself, but his knowledge and passion. And when he speaks the truth, I have a bit of a man crush on him. I'll be totally honest with you. When he was doing,
oh my God. Wait, are you talking pre-yoga pics or post-yoga?
Oh,
pics?
no, yeah.
The yoga pics really elevate things. That's like, I mean,
they give me a semi.
I definitely man crush. I definitely man crush on Patrick's chondro knowledge, but when he fucking posts his shredded body in fucking complete yoga form, after, even though the guy's prison tough, it's very just like, it's wild. And then he's like a chondro genius. Like, it's just fucking, that's a Patrick Holmes.
He's chondro royalty.
He's smiling for sure right now.
Yeah, I called him chondro royalty, and he's like, "I'm not chondro royalty." I said, "Well, in my book, you are." Because the thing I love about him so much is he shares his knowledge and enthusiasm and passion, and that's what made me gravitate towards him. And I reached out, and we had some voice notes back and forth, and I kind of feel like I've made a friend overseas and someone I can trust. Like, you always reference Socrates, and what's so funny, MJ, is I'm not very good at spelling. I'll be totally honest with you. I'm dyslexic, and I'm like, Socrates, how do you spell that? So I'm typing Socrates into different, like Facebook, Instagram, and nothing's coming up. And then on one of your last, on your podcast, not your podcast, on your YouTube video, showing you green tree pythons, I was watching it. He was like, "Oh, my interview with Socrates is down below." I was like, "Fucking hell, finally I get to see who it is." And as soon as it loaded up and I saw him, I'm like, I know him, not personally, but I know him, and I know his collection. And, he had the Rail Tarzan go around and do that hour-plus long video, and his daughter with the Bolins and stuff. And I'm like, so that's Socrates. But to me, Socrates and Patrick are just, I put them two particularly on a pedestal above all other people, simply because a lot of people say you have to keep green tree pythons in this way and you have to keep them in that way. And then Patrick's on an interview with you and Bill, and he's like, no, you don't. He said, I might just build a big fuck off bioactive enclosure and just fill it with chondros just to prove you can do it, because you can. And I use substrate, and I've never had RIs ever in my collection. Not green tree pythons, not ball pythons, not corn snakes. I started with them when I was 11 years old. I've never had a snake have an RI or something. It's not because I'm perfect, but I don't necessarily make everything sterile, because if it is sterile, then they don't build up an immunity. I'm a big believer in they need to be exposed to a little bit of funkiness just to build their immunities. And that's why I use substrate, and I don't keep them in a sterile enclosure. And that's not to shit on anybody that does. At the end of the day, you've got to do what works for you and your collection. And that works for me and my collection. This year, we might do round 3, and you're like, oh, Paul, I wasn't. I'm like, I've got RIs coming out my ears. My fucking snakes are all dead. Not my ball pythons, my chondros. That might be the case, but I'm willing to roll the dice because it means so much to me. It really does.
And that's the thing. Like, this is why, okay, and honestly, bro, at the end of the day, like, you know if you're meant for chondros once you accept the fact that shit happens and you don't care. Like, you need to, like, Patrick, as knowledgeable as he is, if you really know Patrick, you'll match every horror story to every positive story he's ever told. And then the horror stories start to get more than the positives. Like, the guy has been through a lot. And I mean, like, not only with personal life, but even with his chondros, collections dying. Like, he's been through, like, the fucking ringer with these things. And like, that's why I value motherfuckers like Patrick, people who've actually been through it based off their experience, not based off of, either knowing somebody or having chondros that are bred for and have a Facebook forum and try to run shit. Anyways, but I'm just saying, and I can say right now, bro, Patrick is Texas strong. Like, he has Bill Stiegel. He has other people. He has other people within Texas. He has Mark. Shout out to Mark Hager from Texas Chondros, who literally puts out. He puts out everybody who's breeding in Texas. He puts them out on his page and fucking represent them. There's a girl named Dominique. I'm pretty sure Dominique is from Texas, right, guys? But anyways, the chondro group is really thick, and they all support each other, which I feel like that's the important part. And I feel like that's why so many people fuck with Texas, is because how much Texas fucks with itself,
Yeah, Texas is full of fantastic people. Chris Warford, a ball python breeder, JT, owner of Reptile. So many people that you can reference. Cool. Texas is, JT's a real gangster. He's amazing. He's such a good guy. There's so many people in Texas that, they're amazing. And what I love most about the chondro community, for the most part, is they're willing to share their ups and downs to make sure you don't fuck up, or to maybe not make sure you don't fuck up, but make sure they've told you so you may not fuck up. But I'm prepared for it. I think, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying in 5 years I'll be breeding chondros, because if it all goes horribly wrong, I'm quite a sensitive person, so I haven't dealt with a lot of, let's say, snake death in my life. And if they all start dropping, then I probably may bow out, because I wouldn't want to feel like I've put them on death row, kind of thing, But if someone then came out with information saying, if you follow this blueprint, then you're far likely to succeed and not kill them, then I'd maybe give it another go. No, exactly.
There is no blueprint. It's bullshit. There's so many people doing things different with chondros because it's where they're at. It's wherever they're at. It's what they've been doing. But I no longer hold anybody who uses substrate, uses a bioactive. Like, if it's healthy, if it works, If it works, God bless you. That's fine. I'm just saying, when I look at my collection, I don't want that, because I just have a system with my puppy pads and paper. That's just how I fucking do shit. That's just me. You know what I mean? But I love it when I see something that works for somebody else. And because dude, there's no blueprint to shit, man. And if you try what happens when things kind of go wrong is when you're trying so hard to stick to someone else's blueprint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You design your own blueprint. You got to design your own blueprint. And I know that. I learned that myself by, teaching myself that not everything needs a hot spot. I run primarily off ambient heating with all my boreal snakes. Everything gets dropped together and everything gets raised up together during the daytime. Now, what does have a personal hot spot is when I have something paired or going towards that stage of building and, needing a warmer hotspot, you know. But even then, I don't have any heat going on at night. You know, everything just drops naturally, and that for me has just always worked. I've always just done that, and it's been consistent with me. But I also haven't done a lot of breeding. Like this last year, I bred nothing. Like I had the Sarong who was getting paired up. She got locked fucking I don't know how many times and never shut off food. And then the male Sarong just stopped pairing her, and then they're still paired now, and he hasn't hit it in like 3 months. So that's the only thing I really tried going, which I was gonna get to, right? Like let's just say let's say you build your point up where you have breeder females. You need to be okay if you don't get anything in a year. You know what I mean? Because it's expected. People go 0 for 4, 0 for 5 all the fucking time. And if you could do that and still be happy with what you have and not say, oh fuck, I'm not making no money off this. That's, you know what I mean? Like I didn't make, you know, I haven't never made a cent off any chondro, and I've spent a lot of money on chondros. Like I have a lot of chondros, and I put a lot of money into it, and I've made zero money off any chondro. So, but I'm still building, and I'm still raising, and I'm still putting more time into them than anything else, just because I love them, and I got the ball pythons. You know, God bless the ball pythons. But yeah, I mean, it's literally just whatever works for you, but you got to just be ready for not always to have results when you expect them. You can't expect results for chondro, you know.
And you know what? One thing that, because I've bred them once and I got eggs, but basically this was before I paired any ball python. So this was me, first time snake breeder, you know, completely novice. I was in bed and my wife, she always gets up to this day, gets up before me. She ran into the bedroom. She said, Paul, there's eggs in the green tree python enclosure. I'm like, what? I ran in and there was scattered everywhere. She hadn't coiled them or anything because there was no lay box in there, nothing. And it's because I didn't think she was gravid. And the reason I didn't think she was gravid is I never adjusted her temperatures. She had a hot spot of 88. What's too hot now? We all kind of agree that's too hot. She had a hot spot of 88 Fahrenheit, and then the enclosure was what the enclosure was. And she was in a 2-foot cube. She wasn't in a massive enclosure. She was a huge female. Her enclosure was far too small for her. I'll admit it now, but I didn't back then. And she sat in the same perch right under the heat. And throughout all breeding season, I thought, well, she hadn't seeked the cool end or anything. And every single egg was fertile, ready to rock and roll. They all candled perfectly. But what I did was, and I did this on my first ever ball python clutch, I mixed vermiculite and water, and then I did water a little bit more, and I said a bit more for good luck. The most ridiculous thing, I don't know what I was thinking. I put more water in for good luck, and it did the total opposite. It killed all my eggs because my eggs got too wet. But so this year, I'm not dropping temperatures any more than just the room dropping a little bit. And if I don't get eggs, it's fine. And then next season, when my chondro room's built and I can drop temperatures and not worry about the ball pythons, because the last thing I want to do is, me and Patrick talked about this, and he said, your snakes will be absolutely fine. And he knows, I know he's right, but I'm not willing to risk it. And like he said, yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it. You know, I have fantastic success with the ball python, so I don't want to change their environment. But once my chondro room's built, then I can change that room's environment without risking my ball python production. But yeah, so I didn't drop temperatures out. That I basically cooked that female. You know, I didn't know what I was doing, but on the forums they said hotspot of 90. I thought 90 was a bit warm, so I dropped it to 88. And she laid something like, she was a big female, but she laid about 16 perfect eggs, no slugs, and then I murdered them all in incubation. And it was, completely my fault. And she went back on food. I bathed her, put her, back in the enclosure, went back on food, and she was absolutely fantastic. And I had her for a couple of more years, and then I sold her. But because I sold all my green tree pythons. But yeah, so this year I'm not going to drop temperatures. Really, I'm doing it a little bit, but not a lot. And if I don't get eggs, it doesn't matter. I'm not putting any pressure on myself. And I know.
Good.
No, I was just going to say, I know that, maybe ball python breeders, if I don't successfully breed green tree pythons, might think, oh, well, he's not a very good breeder if he can't breed them, not knowing how, difficult they may be. So, I mean,
it's just because, even to consider yourself as a chondro breeder, it takes fucking years, bro. Like,
completely.
like, okay, like, yeah, you could try to skip the line and like get some adults, but A, you got to know a lot of people who have access to that. B, you better have a lot of shit ton of money. And not only that, like, there's no guarantee that even if you get a group of chondros that, like, you gotta understand, those need to be settled in a room for at least a year to two. Like, you know, like people, I talk to anyone, Patrick could back me up on this. I talk to anyone who takes in an adult chondro or emerald tree boa and will literally give that female a year in that room to settle before pairing it. They don't, you know, with a lot of with ball pythons, I've got ball pythons in the mill and paired them right away, and shit's fucking rocking and rolling. You know what I mean? But like, you know, you just don't want to stress stuff like that with the chondro. Like, it's time is the essence. Like, it just takes so much time. And like the people who are glorified in the chondro community, Patrick, Marshall, Bill, David D,
Socrates,
fucking Socrates, Pedro, bro, these guys been doing it for years. They've been doing it for years. Patrick been doing it for years. Like, so like that. There's a reason why. Bill Stiegel, dude, they've been doing it for 10 plus years. And those are the motherfuckers who are the ones that are most respected because of the time they have put in and their experience. When you're doing something for that long, like chondros, you've been through a lot. You've been through a lot of shit. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
So
if you look at me, you know, keeping and breeding these ball pythons for approximately 10 years, give or take, and I've not been through anything. And then you look at someone who's been dabbling with green tree pythons for 10 years, and it's like, shit, they've been through everything. And it's not because they're bad keepers, it's because they're so difficult to get right. But my main focus is their health and condition first. Eggs are a bonus. Eggs are the dream. But you once said, MJ, on one of your earlier podcasts, that the last thing you want to do is lose the female. And it's so true. Yeah. It's so true. So if my female doesn't, it's not. If somebody said to me, look, I can guarantee you 20 perfect eggs from her, but she's going to die, I'd pull that male out and he won't go back in. Because I don't need them to breed. And I so enjoy just looking at them. Honestly, I said to Pedro, I said, people pay a lot of money to hang a painting on the wall. This is my painting on that wall. And now I have to uncomfortably talk. That was the end of my sentence, but MJ's gone. No, he's back.
Oh, sorry. I had to turn. I have, like I said, I'm running ambient and it's dropping pretty cold right now. I was like, I need to heat it up in this room. But no, I totally know what you mean, man. It's like I said, it's a huge crossover from what from like anything else. The chondro game is a unique game all on its own. But the best part about the chondro game we were already talking about is the people in the community. You know, as much as I like to give them shit and say that they're snobs, there's so much information being dropped in chondro Facebook pages and you know,
there is.
Fucking so many people. And there's so many names I didn't even drop. Like people like Frank. I don't know if you know who Frank is, but there's so many people like that are putting information out on Facebook, and you don't get this shit on Instagram. You know, are you a part of the Facebook chondro groups at all?
Yeah. And I don't post a lot because, like I said to Patrick, it's like I've got to suck a dick to get in with them. I must admit, as soon as you mention you're a professional ball python breeder or a ball python breeder, sometimes feels like you're kind of not wanted, and it's very humbling for me because I'm at the top of my game in ball pythons in the UK. I am, you know, there's nobody I think is above me in ball pythons in the UK. And people might think that's arrogant and everything, but there's not a single person. There's not one person I put above me. But, you know, because I know what I've got. But in chondros, I'm absolutely at the bottom. And I can accept that. But it's like...
Welcome.
It's like I ask a question and nobody replies. If I put a post out on the ball python group, it's like, oh my god, Paul's commenting. Hi Paul. So it makes me a little bit sick. And I said that to Patrick. I said, whose dick do I got to suck to get in? And he just put loads of laughing faces.
You don't want to suck any dick. I'll tell you that right now.
No, obviously I do not. Obviously,
The way I looked at it, dude, is like I saw how many people were in the community, but I kind of knew the ones that information I valued the most. And Patrick was, and you know, I will say, Force made it real easy because I don't know if you know this, but in the very, very beginning, I didn't like Patrick. I fucking couldn't stand the fucker. Really? He really made me mad. Yeah, because I was picking up imports at the time And shame on me. This is what I get. And he was definitely in the right on this. But let's go back. So about 3 years ago, probably longer, almost like 4 years ago, I posted a pic of an import Numford Island green tree python that I was picking up from an importer. And I posted the pic that he sent me. Okay. And Patrick commented, "Hey man, that snake looks really dehydrated." And I was like, "Oh, like." And to me, I really didn't really know how to look at a dehydrated snake. I really didn't, and I thought the snake looked fine. So I was just kind of like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" You know what I mean, like type of thing. And then I remember I showed the importer, and the importer was like, "Oh, that's a guy, Patrick Holmes. Why is he talking shit?" Long story short, I had that little grudge with Patrick, and then I met Forrest. And Forrest was the one who basically dropped all this game to me about Patrick. And then something else happened. Like the thing was, Patrick wasn't sweating shit. I was the one sweating shit behind with him not even knowing. I was just sweating it. But he still would comment and give props on shit. And so once I knew who he was after understanding, how Forrest liked him and looked up to him, then I was like, holy shit, this guy knows his motherfucking shit. Like this guy really is somebody who could really potentially help you with what you're trying to do. And once I met Patrick and had conversations with Patrick, talked to him on the phone, had him on podcast, dude, this motherfucker knows his shit. And anyways, long story short, we're like best friends now. And anyways, I go hang out with him all the time.
That's one thing I'm really envious about being in the UK. It's like you talk about people like Patrick Holmes and the Texas Conjure Group and all that, and it's like, I'm just over here in UK. On my own.
Yeah.
No, there's a few, but it's not like that yet. And that's one thing I'm envious about. And just let me say this because it was whirling around my head while you was talking. When I said about I'm at top of the game, I feel I'm at top of the game ball pythons. I don't put no one above me. It doesn't mean I don't put people with me. It's just I put nobody above me. So I'm not saying I'm out in the top of the pyramid. What I mean is nobody's, no one's, I'm not chasing no one in UK. But you're sharing the top.
You're sharing the top, is what we're saying.
Yeah, completely. Right. And there's some people, that's produced some unbelievable stuff, and I'm really, really happy to see that in the UK because it makes me kind of proud of my fellow UK citizens. Putting our UK stamp on the market. But yeah, so I used to go back to what you just said. When people used to say stuff like, for instance, what Patrick said to you, "Oh, yo, man, that snake looks a bit dehydrated," I'd get on defense. I'd be like, "Who the fuck is he talking to, telling me that's dehydrated?" But then it's
go ahead.
But then it's like, actually, he's looking out for me, and I just didn't see
it. Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, now, if somebody says that, it's more of a concern. But I was so coming from the ball python game, I just didn't know better. You know what I mean? I thought this snake's not I didn't know how dirty fucking motherfucking importers were. I just didn't know at that time in that realm of how easy it was for this snake not to be healthy. And Patrick was just looking out for me. But me at that time I was super heavy, angry MJ at that time. I just didn't give a fuck, and I was just happy I was getting it. I was that guy who was just getting into chondros thinking I was all fucking, oh my God. You know what I mean? Just, I was getting my hands on things and I was getting very excited. So it was an easy fix. I still have that snake right now. That fucking snake is a breeder. That's Chapo's dad. Yeah, that's Chapo's dad. Chapo's dad is, Chapo Supreme, his name is. That's my Numford Island.
That's amazing. And on some of your podcasts, because I'm not saying this because I'm on it, but I am a diehard MJ fan. I really am. I think you do an outstanding job. I really do. I love your energy. I love how you've been you from day one. You haven't put on no front. You hit your bongs. You do what you do. I love it. And on some of your podcasts, you'll be interviewing someone and they're like, "Oh, stay clear of imports." Well, I've just bought 2 imports. They are 2 years old, Indonesian captive farmed, whatever you want to call them. And I told Patrick, and Patrick was like, "That's a great way to, add 2 females to your collection." They're in quarantine, so they're not in here. They're in my house, what's 150 foot away. So, and they'll stay in quarantine for at least 6 months, but probably a year, because they won't even be ready to breed in a year. So it makes no sense to rush them into here. But I'm going to roll the dice on them and see how they're doing. And weirdly, the importer had them for 4 months in a specialized, facility, let's say, and they're fantastic. They've been feeding every fortnight. They're doing tremendous.
Paul,
and I think
there's nothing more rewarding. There's nothing more rewarding than establishing an import chondro. I'm telling you right now, and it's not that it's impossible to do. You just need to face with the reality of what's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
It's a 50-50 roll dice. You're rolling the dice, it's 50-50 shot. You know what I mean?
And that's why I bought 2.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Here's the thing with import, right? And this is why it's so straightforward with quarantine, because this is why I would put a white paper towel down, basic fucking water bowl, because I would like to see any fecal, anything that snake shits. I want to be able to see right through it. I want to see if there's mites falling off this snake, because that's how you really determine what's really in a snake or what's really happening with the snake. You know what I mean? So quarantine, definitely, I feel personally should just be very straightforward. That way you could visually see everything.
Yeah.
And a lot of it comes, especially with imports, you determine if the thing got treated for parasites or not, because you wait for the first shit. That first shit will tell you what's going on with with an import. Like, you should inspect. I don't know if you've ever inspected shits, but I'm pretty sure you know.
I have a very expensive. Yeah,
you know exactly what I'm talking about. Perfect.
Yeah,
that's a very, very, very crucial thing.
Yeah, no, it is. And what I won't name names because he might not want me to say his name, but I'm under the guidance of someone that's bought approximately 25 to 30 imports from this exact same person, never lost one. Genuinely, he's never lost a single one. He's lost imported other snakes, but not green tree pythons. And he said to me, and his quarantine practice is second to none. He is, I really wish I could name names because he needs the credit he deserves. But
is he here in America or in the UK?
He's in the UK.
Oh, tight.
He's in the UK. But I wish I could name names to say. Because
are you not naming names because you feel like they would prefer you not to name their names, or you just being respectful?
Yeah.
Or, okay, all right.
Yeah, I don't know if he'd want me to name names, but yeah, he does tremendously well, and he dabbles a little bit in imported snakes, reptiles. Well, no snakes, just snakes, and he does fantastically well, and he's kind of mentoring me through the process. So hopefully, I'll be sitting pretty with these 2 females, but if not, then that's, it is what it is.
How long have you had them for?
I've only had them for 7 days.
How many? 10 days?
No, 7.
About a week? Okay.
Yeah, so 7 days.
And
7 days today.
Have you fed them yet?
Yep, both fed 3 nights after I got them. And fed them? Like, say again?
What are you feeding them?
My own produced rats, but frozen thawed.
Small or mediums? What are you? I'm saying size.
The size. What would you call them in America? Like,
small,
what would you call
medium?
a rat? No, way smaller.
Like wean rat, like a wean.
Not like a rat chub, like not quite a wean, not a rat that could go. Live without his mum. Yeah, rat pup. So rat pup.
Okay.
So in America, is a rat pup where it's got all its fur, so you can tell its color.
It's like a little puppy. It's like literally like a little mini midget fucking rat. Like it's
so
literally the half size. It's the half size. Yeah, it has everything with has a big head, whatever body, and it's just like about half the size of a small rat, basically.
Yeah. So yeah, that sort of size, but. Like very small wiener size, that sounds wrong. Very small wiener, yeah, but a weaned rat, yeah. But yeah, they took it off tongues, separate tongues, blah blah blah. They're fantastic. They're not super defensive, one's a little bit defensive, but the other one's fine. But so far so good. And if I kill them, then I'll put it down to experience and never buy another. But I honestly don't think I will. I think they're okay. But we'll see.
Man, I mean, here's this goes back to like the whole keeping chondros being such a fucking straightforward thing. Once you're dialed in, you don't have anything to worry about. You know, if you're just feeding them and just keeping them and just raising them up, things and you know, things just really go weird once it comes to pairing. You know, and that is all. It could be based off behavior. It could be because based off because of like organs in the female snake. You just have so many things at play once you start pairing. You know, like, you know, Bill Stiegel talks about how his first clutch was the easiest clutch he's ever had. It was a fucking walk on the park, and then the next like 2 or 3 were fucking miserable. You know, like people get really good luck at first, then people get shit luck. People get all around good luck. I don't know. I wish you the best, no matter what. I can tell you right now, the way that you can keep a neonate with substrate in a big enclosure like that with no issues, I feel like you really are dialed in on how you want to keep your chondros and how you're able to keep your chondros. So I think you should just keep following your regiments and, you know, just definitely keep that mentorship that you have, and you're going to go far for this for sure.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. The imports and, you know, the imports aren't in big enclosures, you know, all kitted out. They're actually quite kitted out, but they're not fully kitted out. But the ones in my room that I've had for 2 and approximately half years, they're in, you know, not bioactive or anything like that, but they're in kitted out, you know, enclosures with substrate and decor. That's what I'm trying to say. But so
let me ask you this, Paul. Have you had to like work with a picky eating baby chondro neonate? Have you ever had a chondro shut down on you and not eat, and you have, you know, took you a while to get it back going again? Have you experienced that yet? No,
because not really. Simply because the first green tree python I ever bought was a little yellow neonate, and I put it in something like a 2 foot by 18 by 18 Exoterra. You know, shouldn't have, but that's what I did. Loads of branches, loads of foliage, big thick layer of bedding, big water bowl, you know, heat lamp on top, blah, 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 blah. And it never missed a feed. It really didn't. It just went from strength to strength. And then from that point on, I only really bought sort of like sub-adults. Everyone I bought had already had its OCC color change. So, you know, I didn't really buy any small ones, and then I then I bought this red one from Germany, what was tiny, little Neo, and that's never really missed, you know, a feed. So I haven't had it hard with green tree pythons. I really haven't. You know, I've had, let me think, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've had 12 chondros. That's it. So it's not a lot, you know, when you're talking about someone, you know, doing, you know, paying their dues and stuff. I've only had 12, and I've never had a single issue. So I've had it plain sailing. I've obviously bred them, etc., but I didn't successfully incubate the eggs because of my fault. But, you know, I've got a lot to learn, and I know I'm going to go through some real ups and downs, but it's just something I'm willing to do, and willing to, you know, roll the dice and see how it goes.
Like a big old virgin right now, bro. Can't wait for you to get popped.
Yeah, no, exactly that. But we'll see.
Hey,
but, you know, if I'm lucky and I do get them babies, and, you know, I've got ones that are runners, etc., then, you know, I'll be probably calling them everything under the sun. But it is what it is. You know, I'll put on some, you know, jungle music, like what your friends say. I think it was Socrates or someone.
Sock has jungle music 24/7 playing in all his reptile rooms, which is nuts. And honestly, it's very soothing. I enjoy it, and I'm sure his animals do too. He just has a whole vibe going on in his room. It's pretty cool. And he has zero light, like meaning the only light in that room is the daylight that shines in. When I came over to his house, I wanted to do the podcast. I was like, "Can we do it in your room?" He's like, no, sorry, I don't allow no lights once the sun goes down. I'm like, are you for real? It's like most people, like at Marshall's, you know, we had his room lit up. You know what I mean? But Sock, no. He said, he's like, I removed every single light. There's no light in the ceiling. He's like, I don't want to put light boxes in here. I'm like, all right, respect. I ain't gonna fucking, you know, that's his regiment, and I don't want to, you know, dabble into that at all. So he prefers no light whatsoever, only if it's natural daylight. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know, if that's his kind of routine and that's what he does and it works, then, you know, who's anybody else to, you know, question it?
Yeah. I don't know how many, but the guy's had like 4 or 5 clutches this year. He's doing an amazing job with what he has going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now I do want to I want to talk about one of the pairings that you have going on with your chondros, and I just want to know the background on them because they're fucking beautiful, man. And I want to know how long you had them for and whatnot, and if you could just kind of break this down for me. But what's the background on these 2 snakes here?
Hey, do you know what? What's funny is I knew you was going to ask me this. So I actually planned on getting their paperwork out so I could say it to you. You know, I'll just swing over there and get it. But yeah, no, I actually knew he was asked this, but I didn't prepare this information. Bear with me. So they were both red neos. They were both red neos. All my chondros are red neos. And then I'm just getting the paperwork out. Hang on, I'll just shut the doors. Look, I've got it.
Take your time.
Yeah, so it was Sire was a Cyclops type, and the dam to one of them was a Biac type, red neo, and she was born on the 10th. He or she, sorry, because I don't know which one's which, because I need to check with my mate who I bought them off. She was born on the 10th of the 7th, 2015. It tells you, if you can make all that out, it tells you the breeder, etc. And then the other one was Greenhouse Arboreals, and it was a bio. Again, the dam was a Biac, and the sire was a Cyclops, again, type, blah, blah, blah. And they were that one was born on the 18th of the 2nd, so 18th of February 2015. So they're all kind of roughly 6 years old. Well, them two, should I say. Yeah,
they're virgins, right? This is their first time.
Yeah. So a good friend of mine, actually, he bought them as neos. He bought them. That was obviously his paperwork. And he contacted me saying, "You want to get back into chondros?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm selling all mine." So I bought all of them but one, because he didn't have a lot.
Right.
And what you can't see by that picture is the female, who's the more green, like lime green one. She's actually very yellow. It doesn't really, she doesn't really show in that.
I mean, you can see all on her chin and on her belly, and you can actually see dots of yellow.
Everywhere she's very yellow. Even her greens aren't true greens, are more like yellow. And then the male, who looks, well, he is about the same size as her. They're both big. Not big, I'm comparing them to, whatever.
They're girthy.
Yeah, they're not fat. I only feed them once a month. But the male, when I take him out in the sunlight, he's got more blue than any other color. He is phenomenal. And his underside is solid yellow. All his scales across his belly are yellow. They're not white or cream. They're yellow. And I was praying that my other male, I thought them two were females. The female, the like limey green one you can see, who's yellow, she is a very typical female that holds her poo for, extended periods of time stuff.
Right,
and
hold it back.
Yeah, and then the one that's next to her is a fast metabolism male. But then that one in the picture, he was in between. He was like not a fast metabolism poo all the time male, and not a hold on to it forever female. And I was thinking, I hope that's a female. I hope it's female. And then a couple of months ago, I thought, right, I'm going to probe them. I'm ready to do it. So I did it on my own. Didn't ask no one to restrain their heads and that, and probed that one as a male, and obviously the one as a female. And I thought, no, I thought I had 1.2, but I actually have 2.1.1 because I have one that's unsexed. So the goal was to pair my other male with the male in that picture. Obviously, I was hoping it was a female, and create some sort of blue line, because both him in that picture and the male up here have tons of blue. And I was just praying that, a few neos would come out with the chance of developing some really blue scales, because honestly, he's got so much blue on him. He's phenomenal. He really is. He's not, don't get me wrong, he's no mosaic, he's no sickness, but in my book, he's just stunning. He's gorgeous.
I mean, yeah, there's different levels on how gorgeous these chondros are, but any level is so fucking amazing. Like it's just they're just such a beautiful animal, man. And especially when you've had them for a while and you see the color change they have for like throughout their first fucking like 10 years, they even like they don't ever stop color changing. I think every, you know, especially a really high end snake, you just never can expect anything. You can always expect a chondro to change color at some point throughout its life. It's crazy.
I absolutely agree with that.
Now let me ask you this: Have you incubated that female at all that you've had paired? Did you like incubate or not? Not incubate, ultrasound. Excuse me. Did you ultrasound that female at all?
No. I was just watching her body language, and you know, I just thought, you know, with the cooler weather, I keep my windows cracked open so that cool, moist UK winter air, autumn winter air comes in, and I see my snakes acting a little bit different. Not too much with the green tree barons, but more so with the ball pythons. You know, seeking the cooler end and stuff. And I just thought, do you know what? Fuck it, I'll try. And if they don't do out, it doesn't matter. And honest to God, I put the male in, and he slivered right to the top of this. Is actually there now. He did this. Sorry, I just dropped it.
You're good.
So I put him in, and he slivered up there. And I thought, honest to God, MJ, I thought, right, that's it. I'm not going to successfully breed him. I thought, that's it. He's, you know, he's probably a girl. I probably sexed him wrong. Blah 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 blah. He's not going to breed. You know, I was thinking, right, I'm going to pull him out in a couple of weeks. Pull him out, and in a couple of weeks, I'm going to reintroduce the male. And then I thought to myself, shut up, chill out. It doesn't happen instantly. But honestly, I was like that. I was like, it's not going to happen. It's because I want it to happen so much. I doubted it was going to happen. And then
you're also concerned too. I mean, it is concerning, you know, when you don't 100% know the sex of the snake. I've had to rip two females apart from me. I've literally had to rip two females apart from being wrapped on each other before, and it's fucking the scariest thing on earth. It's not fun. So blame you for that.
No, concern. Completely. But I'm not the best, you know, snake prober in the world, but you know, I own a reptile shop. I know how to probe snakes. You know, I've got to know how to probe snakes. But I thought, you know, it's not going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, oh, shut up, stop being an idiot. Just relax, it'll happen. And then about 4 hours later, I come up to Urban every night to lock up just to check on everything about 9 p.m., 10 p.m. And bang, there was at it. I was like, yes, I can't believe it. I actually ran into my house on the way back down like a little school kid and said to my wife, Emma, I said, they're locked. And she goes, really? Because she didn't even need to ask what snakes I was talking about. I was like, they're locked. She goes, really? I said, yeah. Oh, I was over the moon. It was like I just got eggs. I was so happy. And weirdly, they locked. Yeah, 36 hours they were locked for, approximately. And then they unlocked. Yeah, and I thought, shall I remove him? Because I know some people let the male stay in throughout the whole breeding season. He's not obviously going to see another female. So I was thinking, should I remove him? And I just thought, no, I'll just wait. And then next morning, they were locked again. And what he does is he goes for his break for 8 hours and then goes right back in. So, you know, fingers crossed I get eggs. Fingers crossed I get eggs. But if I don't, it's all good. As long as I don't kill him, I'm cool with that. You know, it is what it is.
All right. So, Paul, I have a wrap-up question for you, okay? So let's say, you know, things do go in the right direction. And what I mean by that, like you are producing chondros. Like, let's say that you are able to produce some and establish some where you could even maybe potentially sell some off here and there at some point, right? But if you felt like chondros is your niche and you're able to do and gain a lot of ground with these chondros, do you ever feel like possibly you would want to get it to, I mean, kind of to where your ball pythons are at some point? Like, meaning you'd go for as many clutches as you could possibly, go for, and or what's your game plan altogether, even with success, regardless? Like, let's say everything's in your favor with the chondros. What would be your goal with that?
I don't think I'd ever want to breed the number of, you know, I definitely wouldn't want 50 chondro clutches. I wouldn't want half that. I probably wouldn't want half of that. You know, like 12 chondro clutches. We've got to take into consideration that they lay more eggs than ball pythons. So on average, their clutch sizes are 3 times or greater than a ball python. So, you know, if you got 10 chondro clutches, that'd be like more like 30 to 40 ball python clutches, and ball pythons eat just so easily, you know, first time, blah, blah, blah. It's so damn easy. I don't want to say damn easy. It's so easy. But with chondros, no,
Easier.
you know, 2 or 3 clutches a year would be a dream. And
Right.
I'm not, this isn't going to be like, let's churn them out. But I also would like to at least do a few where I can offer them out, because there, I think, in my opinion, there is a shortage of Nido negative captive bred chondros available. And I'm not saying that the captive bred chondros are Nido positive, but what I mean is Nido affected the green tree python industry and wiped many out, and there's so many, you know, Nido positive animals across the world. And it would be nice if one day we can kind of suppress that and they die off of old age and they take the Nido with them, and hopefully get back on the straight and narrow where, you know, Nido was, you know, something we used to talk about and no longer, you know, probably not, but is, you know, would like to think so.
Now, I mean, with the freshly, pair of chondros that you just got, do you have Nido work on those, or are you getting Nido tested on those, or what's your deal with those?
I'll get them tested 3 times before they come into here. So over the next 6 months, as long as I don't drop down dead for some reason, over the next 6 months, I'll get them Nido tested 3 times by a professional vet, well, by a vet. But yeah, right now the focus is feeding them. What I do is I feed them. I don't, you know, I held them for a pitch. I held one for a picture, and then that's it. You know, they're basically ornaments now. So I don't do anything with them on a day when I'm coming in here. But so I segregate 1 day a week. That's strictly for chondros. So I'll work on these chondros, let's say Monday. I can't even remember what day it is because I don't work my days out on Mondays. I work it out on like a rota. So say Monday's this, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is this. And then Saturday morning, it's the chondros in the house. And then I've got, you know, after the chondros, it's a shower, you know, family time. The next day, family time, and obviously shower, etc. And then Monday, back at it. So I'm anybody that's been here. I don't hand if somebody comes here to buy a ball python and they say, "Oh, can I hold a chondro?" No, you can't. Not only we're not holding them, but I'm not holding them, because we're not going to hold a chondro and then hold a ball python. I don't do it. Yeah. And when I hold my chondros, you know, don't get me wrong, I don't always wear gloves. You know, if I'm just getting one out and it's only going to be one, because I never hold the same 2 in the same day unless I wear gloves. You know, people have said I'm really OTT, but I think you've got to be. The Nido negative, but like people like Socrates, you know, he tests animals before they pair and he tests them after they pair. And I thought, wow, if he does all that testing, maybe there's more to this than we think. So, you know, I'm not saying they're categorically Nido free, because who knows? But yeah, you know, they're Nido tested twice negative. I know you've got to do it more, but they've been in my friend's collection since 2015, my collection for 2.5 years, and they're solid. So hopefully, you know, it is what it is. Hopefully they're all good.
Yep. I hope they are too, man. And like I said, I mean, it's the Nido thing is just, I don't know. I mean, people who've had snakes for so long, sometimes they don't even know that they've had snakes with Nido this entire time. You know what I mean? So that's why, regardless of who's had what, you know, I'm glad you're still testing them no matter what. You know what I mean? Because it's still something you never want to skip, and you would be surprised on how many times that fucking thing pops up. It's crazy, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised, because I know the truth of it, and it pops up. It pops up in, you know, ball python collections that don't keep green tree pythons. Yeah, you know. So
supposedly Nido is known to wipe out ball python collections. Supposedly it's happened in the States. I forgot. I wouldn't say the name anyways, but I've heard about it. You know.
It has. There was a guy that did a YouTube video. I won't name the breeder, a very well-known breeder that doesn't breed anymore, but a very well-known breeder supposedly sold him some snakes with Nido, and he wiped out his collection. He was doing YouTube videos, and there was water in his eyes. He was welling up. And then videos shortly after got deleted or taken offline at least. But yeah, you know, I'm not gonna turn this into an Nido conversation. But yeah, there's been some horrible things happen to people, and that's why I'm so on top of it, and I'm so OTT. I have to be super, super careful because I've got to protect what I've built up. You know,
Right.
I can't risk.
Yep.
I can't risk all this. But
shit, man. Good stuff, man. I appreciate this. It's been an amazing round 2 catching up with you. And Paul, I could tell you right now, like I'm trying to do some global tour shit. I'm trying to go to UK for our round 3. What's up? I might need to fly in for
that
the
would be
round
amazing.
3. And really see what's going on over there in the UK because I've never been and I fucking love United Kingdom. So, but I'm dead serious. We might need to be talking about that in the near future.
Let's make it happen.
How is the flying in and out in UK currently right now? What's the situation right now with that?
I think everything's open and moving forwards. I haven't planned any flights myself, so I don't know the ins and outs of it. But I think everything's kind of somewhat back to normal. Me and Miguel talked quite a bit, and he was saying, "Oh, I'll fly out and come and see you." I'm like, "No, I'll come see you, dude. You've got a better collection. It's warmer weather, you know." But yeah, you know, Billy Rose has said he's going to come over and visit. So, you know, I think as the years progress, we're going to see, you know, people coming over and seeing. They'll see it's a lot different to America. You guys have got some tremendous firepower. You know, I'm not deluded. But yeah, you know, it's nice. We enjoy it. We love it. You know, big reptile show tomorrow. The only real one in the UK. So I'm looking forward to that. I've got to pack snakes as soon as I get off this podcast. So, you know, It's all good.
All right, man. Well, I'll let you get back to your grind. I know I have a whole day ahead of me right now. I'll tell you that much. But I appreciate this a lot. I appreciate the information you just dropped, and I am rooting for you with the chondros, man. You know, I'm also rooting with the ball. I'm also rooting with you with the ball pythons, but I feel like you have that in the bag. So I'm just I'm gonna keep my prayers heavy on the chondros for you, man. And please keep posting, bro. You know, and if you ever want to talk about them, let me know. I'm all open ears, bro. So let me know, okay? But thank you so much.
Appreciate
Paul.
that.
You're the man. What do you got to say to all your supporters, everyone who fucks with you, your 10K and up club? What do you got to say to everyone who fucks with you, man?
Basically, thank you so much, because without you, I couldn't do this full time. My customers and everyone that's given me help, advice, and put me on, I don't forget anybody from the early days to today. So thank you all so much. But also, thank you, MJ, for putting this amazing podcast together. You do it. I know I've already said, but you do an outstanding job. You bring a lot of amazing people that some fly under the radar, and it's, you know, you put it together so well. We certainly the UK, we really enjoy it. We really respect what you're doing, and we appreciate it. So thank you, big homie MJ. Yes.
Much love, bro. Mark my words, I will be tapping into UK and I will be touching down at some point. So, and once I do, you will be one of the people I go visit. All right, for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I'll show you my chondro rooms that we've done by then. And hopefully there's some Neos in it.
Yeah, let's go. Crossed. All right. Hey, Paul, have a good rest of your night, okay? Thank you so much for tapping in with us. Urban Constrictors, ladies and gentlemen.
Peace.
All right, bro. Have a good night, bro. And thank you, everyone who tapped in on this Saturday. I hope you enjoyed your morning, afternoon, evening, no matter where you're at. You were tapped in here, so I want to say thank you so much. Before you head out, please, if this was your first time tapping in, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the dislike button. And again, shout out to my Patreon family. I will see each and every single one of you on tomorrow night's Trap Talk Zoom session. If you out there are wanting to be a part of this Trap Talk community, if you want to be a part of the family, then simply go down to the link below, click on the Patreon family link and subscribe, or I'm sorry, just become a part of the Patreon family. But yeah, man, thank you to everyone who was tapping in. Thank you to everyone in the comments. You guys are awesome. And oh, hold on real quick. So literally about to drop. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be exciting. And I really feel like you motherfuckers should be ready to watch this, because it's going to, come on, bro. Really? Come on. But this is about to drop at 11:15 West Coast time. Okay. And that's going to be the Marshall Mendez collection tour. God damn it. Let me get rid of this. But this is going to be dropped. I went ahead and edited this. I was going to wait till next week to drop it, but I'm going to drop it today. And it's going down. You don't want to miss this. This guy dropped some serious knowledge, and he showed off some amazing heat. And again, shout out to Marshall Mendez. Shout out to his wife, Laura. Shout out to Maddox. Shout out his daughter, Mia. All of them were amazing and very hospitable. Did I say that right? Hospital to me and the homie Matt. But yeah, man, thank you again for everyone who supports the channel. And I'll see you guys next week for another Trap Talk with MJ, and I'm out. Cheers.